Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Six Figure Souls Doing Good and Making Money. My name is Camille Miller. I am the founder of the Natural Life Business Partnership, a global network for soul centered entrepreneurs. And we are here today with Carol and Rick Gabrielly.
Yeah.
Power couple. I think that is the best way to describe you. You guys do so much together, but you are the first couple that we are having on the summit. But I wanted to interview you together because you complement and do everything together, right? You do everything together. You are totally the power couple. So when we talk about different ways to launch businesses and being totally authentic, you guys are a great representation of that for us. So thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having us.
You.
Yeah. So I should also mention that you're members of the Natural Life Business Partnership. So, and our Six Figure Souls. So let's start off with a little bit about you. And I know that you've been married forever. How many decades?
32 years.
32 years. I just saw like an anniversary something come through, like I saw it on Facebook. And we actually met through Facebook.
Yeah.
You reaching out. So tell us a little bit about yourselves, not only what you do, but a little bit of your backstory, your journey to this power couple, and how you decided to do everything together.
Well, I want to start by telling everyone that we believe personal energy management is the new healthcare.
I love that.
And I'll start with that and I'll turn it over to you to just give a little backstory on who we are.
Who we are. So when we got together, we decided that we were going to be the most positive, the most connected, and spread as much joy as we could. And that was our basis. We got together over 30 years ago,
Yeah.
and we really had a very, very strong connection. And through that, we started to attract people, and we thought that is definitely the way we want to go. And we definitely imparted that in our children, and that's what we do. Communication and connection is our basis. We have two kids. We have a 25-year-old and a 20-year-old. He just had his birthday
Yep.
the day before yesterday, and two boys. And
Yeah. So, I mean, I really wanted our relationship to be the gold standard. And so everything I did, I mean, I was a salesman, she was a banker. When we met, we were like business people coming together, but I wanted it to be based on love. I didn't want it to be a business thing. I didn't want to be, you mentioned power couple. It's the power of love. Everything we do is based on connection and energy, and we bring people into our world and attract, as we were talking about before the interview, attract. And for us, it's all about building the energy around connection. So I'll just use one example. When she was in banking and I was in sales, we changed the paradigms of both of our work cultures to allow spouses to come into the happy hours and the trips and stuff like that. So before we met, both our companies always had individual incentives and trips with, like the bank people or the sales people.
Right.
Got together. I went to my boss one day and said, I want Carol to, come to our happy hour. I want her to come on our cruise. And they were like, what are you talking about? You can't have spouses. This is like a company trip. And we changed it in both offices. And then that was kind of like, we were off to the races. We were going to do everything together and, including raising our kids. And then my family has a dental practice. I don't know if, many of you may know, our roots are in medicine and 25 years running a medical practice. So her and I are engaged in that. And we did something different in that business. We created a dental spa and wellness center so that people could connect on a different basis and get the care they needed in an environment where there was love and education, service, and community oriented. So it was very different than anything else out there. And it still is, even 25 years later. Everything we've done was about people, connection, and energy.
Yeah.
And everything we touch has to have those things at the root of it.
Yeah. And I'm hearing a lot of love, like your core value
Yes.
is just love and acceptance. And you, both of you use the word of attracting. So clearly you believe in the law of attraction. And since you're giving out love, you're receiving all of that back. And that's how you're attracting people. So do you think that's the core way that you're marketing your all of your businesses? I call it relationship marketing.
Much
That
have
is
we spent on advertising, marketing, and whatever,
all of
and
it.
it's like doesn't give you anything compared to connection.
A connection. I agree.
You know,
That's
I
a
hate to break the
yeah.
heart of all the marketing and advertising people that are watching this right now, but
Yeah.
35 years we have done everything in all of our businesses to promote and market and advertise, and the best way to get engagement, serve, and build businesses is with
Yeah.
personal connection.
Yeah, it's I think it still is. I think when people went to that online model, they thought that like content was the king and that's all you hear. And you can put out content till you're blue in the face, but if people don't actually know who you are and connect with you as a person, that's not getting you anywhere. And I guess a lot of people can do lives and stuff, but during this the pandemic, even though we're coming out of it, I think it was the people with relationships and community that continued to have, you know, good thriving businesses and kept that up. I'm like you. I made the big mistake of spending lots of money in advertising and realized none of that made any difference. When I looked at my numbers, still, I think it was like 95% of the members and clients that I had came through referrals. I was like, after tens of thousands of dollars of advertising agencies, it's all about relationships. So
If
beautiful.
you have, you know, whoever's watching, if you have a long sales cycle, product or service,
Yeah.
relationships are the key. You know,
Essential.
the more your product costs, the more you're going to have to build a relationship. And, you know, we have a good friend
Yeah.
in Texas who we just met this year who says relationships and sales move at the speed of trust.
Oh, I've never heard that. I like that.
Use it
Good
now.
one.
You can use it now.
I will. I think I will. I really like that one. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Our buddy Jerry Henry down in Texas, he says that. Yeah.
I love that. So you had the medical practice,
Mhm.
and what did you launch off of that? So you had two different careers. You brought those together. I know that you help in your family medicine practice, and you want to tell us a little bit about what else you do to bring you where you are today?
Sure. So the dental practice was you know growing at such a rapid pace. We needed to get a new office. So when we were planning that, I was researching other ways to deliver the service because I didn't like it. I didn't like being in the dental chair. I was
Yeah.
a freak flyer. She's lucky she was not, you know, in there so much. So I'm sitting there looking at the ceiling thinking there's got to be a better way to do this. So I saw the concept of the dental spa and we just took it to a whole new level. Everything from the sights, the sounds, the scent, you know, it's really based on all of the different senses. And so when
Okay.
someone goes in there, they feel like they're in a spa and it really takes you back to you know a time when you can relax and just enjoy something. So it's ironic to see we've actually begun catering to phobic patients. So through that we were able to
I
build our
like
health coaching practice. Many of you may know we had a marriage coaching practice, wrote a couple books in there, and so we were helping people because of our foundation in relationships and marriage. We were helping other people find that same piece because for us it's all been about this relationship
Yeah.
is fuels us to go out in the world every day and share it. And you know what, we get that everyone doesn't have a great relationship or a great partner or a marriage that's you know helped build businesses and foundations, but you can all strive for that even in your own relationship with yourself. You know, we're talking about self-care.
Yeah.
That's, it starts with me. I'm the guy who does me. She does her. We've got to take care of ourselves first before we can even give to this relationship.
Absolutely.
And so
Absolutely.
then, so out of that dental spa experience and the coaching, we were able to connect network. We realized it's never about our product or service. It's not about what we sell or how we earn the money. It's really about who we can impact. So if we can help someone find themselves and care more for themselves or their family, this is about families too, and businesses are families.
Yeah.
So it really was a model for everything else we do. And I think Carol gets the credit for really being at the root of that family. And the feminine energy around business is, I think, the secret sauce. So you want to talk a little bit about how that not only the banker, the businesswoman, but the feminine energy is so
Yeah, I started
so
out
beneficial.
like everybody else in business, and I was a AVP in a savings bank in the lending division, and I was in management. I was accounting background, and I had that whole professional thing going on, and I was comfortable with it. And but after we got together and had kids, what I can really, my passion and where I live and who I am is more of a caretaker. So I'm a mom. I have conversations every day of my life about being a mom and a caretaker, and doing all the things, the supportive role, and that's pretty much what I'm aligned with. So in business, I was always wondering how that could serve me after kids. Still have kids very much, but what I have is, more time. So reaching out to the public is, talking about my experiences and listening.
Yeah.
Listening is the most important thing we can do to make other people feel valued. So I listen, people tell me things, we can use that in business, and it's all coaching, almost every day we're coaching. We're coaching, spiritually and, emotionally. Rick does a lot of business conversations that are, essentially coaching. So that's how, connection, listening, being supportive, and having a conversation.
Yeah. So how long did you together have your marriage coaching? I know you wrote a couple books.
Yeah.
One, few, how many?
Two. One was like more of a special report, checking on how the whole publishing world works. And the second one is, the one we'll be talking about today.
Okay.
It was 8 years of marriage coaching.
12 years. Wow.
8 years.
8 years.
Yep, 8 years.
8 years. Wow.
Where I met a lot of people in the previous summit. A lot of my good friends, Lisa and Danielle.
Oh, that's right. Lisa Concepcion, who was in our first summit, was one of your connections. I didn't meet her through you, but that's awesome. So, all right. So then you had the marriage coaching, you had the dental practice. I don't know if those coincided.
Yeah, they did, because
They coincided.
we use the term laboratory because, our dining room table is a laboratory. Our dental office is a laboratory. The baseball field was a laboratory for 17 years for us to coach our kids and parents and just kind of bring this whole mission together. And now the coaching, marriage coaching, speaking, helping people right in their homes, that's a laboratory. So we collect data up here and here on, how people think, how they feel, what they do, what makes them inspired, what helps them to reconnect. How do they, you can reignite a relationship. In the marriage coaching, it's all about igniting, right? Something, the spark is out, we've got to reignite it. So it's always about fire and energy and fuel and enthusiasm. But I think that, one of the things I wanted to mention when Carol was talking was, you have gotten some referrals from us.
Yeah,
in an
absolutely.
email. So we'll talk about how you can inject love and blessings and care into hardcore business every day. We do that. So I think that if I had to say one thing that we do really good, that's putting love into the business environment fearlessly. So I will send a CEO of a Fortune 100 company a referral, and at the end of it, I will say, "We wish you love and abundance and all the goodness on this referral, so that you both can do amazing things in the world and heal and create, amazing things out of this." So I am not afraid to start with love and finish with love in any business meeting. I have raised major eyebrows with my style. And I've been doing this for 35 years. When I was a new salesman, I was loving on people, and my sales
Before
partners,
it was cool.
my vice presidents, my owners were looking at me like I was crazy because I was using the word love in a business environment. And they were like, you can't say that. But I love them. I love when they say yes. I love when they buy from me. I love when they ask me questions. I love when they give me referrals. So why shouldn't I tell them?
And as much
I love it.
resistance as he used to face with this very love forward approach is now like celebrated.
It's popular now.
Yeah, it's really,
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
great.
And you call everyone family. So I've gotten those referral introductions through email that are, a page long, but just filled with love and thoughtfulness and kindness and sharing your relationship. So,
Let's ask you the question and put you on the spot now in your own interview. How
okay.
do you feel when you get those referrals?
Oh, terrific. And I always know also because I trust you that what you're sending me is worth the follow up and the love back.
Do they feel different?
Trust.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
That's so everything we put out in the world should be shockingly different if
Yeah,
you want
that's
to get an
beautiful.
impact. If you don't want to take a long time, put it all out there right away.
Yeah. I love that. So now the two of you are the power couple selling the Beamer distributors.
Yeah.
When did you start that? Like 2 or 3 years
Among
ago?
other things, in 2016.
2016. Oh, that's a long
A
time
little
ago.
over 4 years now, and this is again a great story for Carol, because although I brought it home for her, Carol is the one. No one knows this, but why don't you tell the story?
What does it
How
mean?
you embraced it and why we're doing this today.
Well, Rick, he's done a lot in our relationship. Is he's just brought things home. He's like, look what I brought. What? How much does that cost?
Wow.
So he brought the Beamer home. We found out about it through our brother-in-law. It did amazing things for our brother-in-law. So he brought one home, and I said, okay, I'll look into it because I'm a researcher, and I just related to and understood the science. So I said, okay, I won't give you a hard time. I'll just try it. And 4 years later, it's really the thing we use and go to for our self-care and a lot of issues that we have in everyday life. So as I'm using this thing and I'm gaining more confidence, and I have to really like something in order to talk about it. At the same time, my youngest son went to college, and we were talking about it anyway. And when he went to college, I was faced with, well, what am I going to do now professionally?
When I grow up.
When I grow up, exactly.
Yeah.
So I said to Rick, I think this is, it's time for me personally to get back out in the world. And we talk about Beamer, but it made him so happy because he's wanted me to be right there with him in all of the adventures.
Yeah.
And we're finally doing that together. So I just felt like it was something that I believed in so much that I felt it was my responsibility to share it with people. It would not be fair to keep it to myself. So here we go.
Do you think it's easier to work together than separate? And my follow-up question will be, does your work life and your home life and everything just type of intertwine? Because I would assume that some people would have trouble with that and some people just love that.
Yeah, I just want to say that I am the opposite of a salesy person. So I'm not the first person to pick up a phone and call, say, hey, but Rick is. So we are, they say opposites attract.
Complementary.
So, yeah. So where he is very, forward and, willing to pick up the phone and call and talk to people. And basically the way I see our relationship in business is he goes out and, talks to people and brings them in, and then I make them feel comfortable. All that stuff. So I think for us, it's a total complementary situation.
It sounds it. Yeah, like you're more nurturing, although you're both nurturing.
Yeah. So
he reaches out, and then you bring them in deeper.
Right. So as an entrepreneur, you need to be that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can't sit in your living room and hope people call you for something,
They're not coming in.
Yeah. A lot of people try that method. It doesn't usually work.
During my coaching years, I would say to people, when I coached them in their businesses, all right, look around now.
Right.
Do you see anybody in your house?
Yeah.
Well, then you got to get out.
Yeah.
And go.
No one's going to come knocking on your door. That's what I always tell people.
You're in your house by yourself.
Yeah.
There's no in there. So I want to piggyback on that. So when we first met, we partied together. We traveled together. We broke the rules in our offices together.
Yeah.
I wanted her by my side every second. I passed up on a huge job, which was going to have me traveling like 6 months a year when I met her, because I wanted to be with her every day. I didn't want to travel and, like sell epitaxial reactors, which is what it was for.
Right.
Use it, make computer chips. So, and then when we had kids, we were together all the time. Then we coached. We were in baseball coaching for 17 years. She was there every single game, every practice. We never were apart. Then when I was running a dental business and in sales and whatever, she was right there. In the coaching, she was right there. And so with Beamer, she's right there. So this is not for everybody. Whoever's watching this and listening to this, it may not be right for you. It's possible.
Great point.
It really takes a special commitment.
Yeah.
Like the good news is there are no more Mondays in our life, but there are also no more weekends, because every day is the same. We go out and do the same thing. So I like to think that, we celebrate every day. We're grateful to be here. We live in gratitude. We are not taking anything for granted. Like if today is the last day, this is how we're going to go out. It's going to be awesome. Having this be our last interview, even though it might not be. But I'm not afraid of that. We're enjoying every single day.
We have started to put more family time in the calendar, though, because we found that through all these Zoom meetings that you can really fill a day and a night and the next night with meetings. So we've tried to cut back a little bit.
But it has been, I'll say the pandemic has been really good for our businesses.
Really good.
Really good.
Because of the time to connect with others?
We've eliminated all the travel time.
Yeah.
No travel. So, we were literally in a car or on a plane, probably half of our life, traveling or going to meet people because you have to go see them, right? Yeah. So now with this Zoom culture,
people are a lot more open to having conversations like this.
Do you think you'll continue it as we start to come out of this, that this is going to be something that's new to the way you do business?
Parachute. Yeah. Once you unfold it, you can't fold it back up the same way.
I agree. I think we're going to see a lot of change going forward in all types of industry and people that have never worked from home, and the savings of travel. I've been doing it for 2 years, so my life didn't really change much. Is that other people are more open to it on the other end, and I only do Zoom.
Don't forget how important this is for the introverts of the world.
Yeah.
Those who didn't like to go out in public and were drained by personal connection.
I am, yeah.
The meetings, they now can jump on and jump off in 30 minutes or an hour and get the necessary connection and jump off.
That's very important. So as an introvert, to know that you have a certain amount of time and everybody knows, and if you can lengthen if you want to, but you can get out.
It's a level playing field.
It is. It's beautiful. So
Or-
my last question is, how is like spirituality show up in your business? Or like who do you align yourself with?
Well, for me, it's Wayne Dyer. I can say that, for 30 plus years now, and he's not with us anymore physically, but um, early on, my brother introduced me to Wayne Dyer and a lot of other, spiritual leaders, and really the practice of mindfulness and just being present in the moment. Our dad passed at 53 in 1981. I was 19, he was 33. It was a huge loss. For me, it was like my guide was
Yeah.
gone. And so I had to find something to connect to that rooted me more in the moment, not, regretting things in the past or missing him and not worrying about the future and having anxiety. So rooting, myself in the moment was very helpful. And that's what we do in our businesses. And, she comes from a very stable background with people who are very warm and loving. So when I met her family, it was a stabilizing force. And, she's a very calming influence. I tend to be high energy. I don't know if this is coming through, but so I'm like always in the clouds and she's always on the ground. So, finding that the balance, right? I mean, I
Compliment.
think we
Yeah.
need energy. I'm out there marketing energy all day. I think that's the fuel of connection is energy. And she's just rooting and helping people find stability.
Yeah.
And gratitude. Gratitude is our personal spiritual practice.
I love it. You're such a beautiful couple. Like it just shines the two of you together. And I know that every every conversation I've had, it's always been the two of you, which is so beautiful.
Wow.
Very nice. And I thank the two of you for being on this summit and just sharing your story. That's really about love. So I am so appreciative of you being a part of this summit and sharing your love and your story.
And I
And
want to say how much we love you and how much we appreciate what you do. And you are magical to all of us members and to everyone you touch every day. And everyone loves you and everyone appreciates you so much. You do so much more than anybody we know to foster soul-centered leadership and business and this family. So we love you and adore you, and your work is awesome. Every day you surprise us with new goodies and connection and events and bringing this family together. So thank you, Camille.
thank you.
And
That's
you
sweet.
are, is because of who you are, and we appreciate that.
I appreciate you as well. Thank you. Thank you for that. If you loved this interview, please join us to continue the conversation in our Facebook group, and you can ask any questions, tell us what you think. I'd love to hear from you. Well, thanks, Rick and Carol, for a beautiful interview. I so appreciate your time today.
Thank you.
All right, bye bye.
Bye.